Come on, visit thedealconfidence.com and click the subscribe button and also hit like. If you want to be updated on our new upload, just hit the notification bell and you'll be updated automatically.
I have two questions I want to ask. One is, for all of the investing that you've done for you, let me get this out of the way, what has been the hardest part?
For me, the hardest part of all the investing that I've done, at first I was thinking it was finding the leads. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part for me is waiting on the deals to close. Because I've had a deal where I've got a deal signed under contract with my seller, and it was going to be a wholesale deal, and I had my buyer in place, and we had to wait 3 months on the deal. I'm waiting on the deal right now that I've had under contract for 3 years. But the payday is so large, I'm not backing away from it. And that's a probate deal. Probates, I was told probates are good. And I guess if everything's in order, but when you're dealing with probate in a county like Fulton County in Atlanta, they're slow on everything they do. And the probate makes it worse, and COVID hit and everything shut down. But it's an excellent deal, so I'm definitely not backing away. The hardest thing for me is dealing with the title companies. The last deal we did, I had to go through 8 different title companies to try to find somebody to close this deal, because this deal was creative finance.
Yeah,
that is my new niche. Anything I do, I'm going to offer you a cash offer, but I'm going to offer you more with creative finance. And I learned that from you. And if y'all are listening, get on to creative finance, because it is excellent. It can pay. If you want to walk away from a job, creative finance can get you there with 1 or 2 deals.
Absolutely. It is my favorite. I mean, people talk about going to a bank and getting a loan. I'm like, I've been doing this for 22 years. I have never, ever gone to a bank to get a loan to acquire investment real estate. It's either been seller financing, subject to, or private money. I don't go to banks. And so when people talk about, interest rates are going up, I'm like, not for me. Not for me, they're not. I think you ended up getting 3% and change on the last deal that we did.
I got 3% interest rate. So with that, who's not going to want to buy it? Because like you say, interest rates are over 7 now. Yep. So I can get anybody to buy that deal as long as they got a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
And it's excellent because you make money on depending on the deal, you make money on the front end, you make money during the middle, and you make money in the end. Yep. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's awesome. Okay, so I have hogged up a little over a half an hour. It's a small enough group. So again, if you have a question, just unmute yourself, ask your question. I'll ask, if you're not asking a question, that you stay muted just so that we don't have a lot of background noise. I am recording. But does anyone have, because I have more questions, but I don't want to hog it all up. So does anyone have, well, actually, I know that Daryl had a question. He wanted to know why you set up the LLCs as part of your celebration. What was that all about? What's the motivation for the LLCs?
Okay, now this goes back to watching podcasts. I was watching a podcast called In the Vote with Ask Cash. And he had this gentleman on there who's big into business finance and business funding. And so he was saying that he opens up, every time he does something big, he'll open up an LLC and let it sit. Because in order to get the financing, that LLC has to be 2 years old. So he would let it sit and just have different LLCs. And now he's got over like 50 million worth of business funding. So when I heard that, I'm like, well, maybe I just start doing that when I close deals. So I just started doing it. I'm on number 2 now. So
nice. So someone's raised hands. You don't have to raise your hand. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question, and we'll sort it out. We have a small enough group.
Yeah, thank you. How you doing, Jason? I had a question for you in regards to like your virtual wholesaling. Specifically, like what's your process for like getting boots on the ground in these different cities that you're doing this in? Because I mean, if I'm not understanding, you're in Atlanta, but you have, you're doing deals like across the country. So like, how are you going about like finding or meeting people, introducing yourself to people and finding people who can kind of go out and look at these properties and kind of do some of the legwork that you can't do from like where you are?
Okay, that's a good question. Very good question.
If you want to watch the full video, then join our full training course at www.dealconfidence.com. Thank you so much for watching and have a great deal.